this moment, I'm pleased to yield the floor to my colleague from Missouri, Representative Hartzler, who has been a very strong advocate for her constituents and for the energy policy that we need to have in this country.
Thank you, gentlemen. I appreciate the opportunity to join with you and Representative Kelly and all my colleagues here tonight expressing concern about the reports coming from the Conference of the Parties, or COP-21 talks in France, of a planned end around the Senate. It is unacceptable to me that this administration is negotiating a major international agreement promising vast sums of taxpayer dollars with no intention of allowing the people's representatives to weigh in on a final agreement. While the President's team is in Paris trying to finalize a deal, we have been here listening to our constituents, and that should be our goal, to listen to Americans and to fight to lower their electricity costs, not obligating taxpayers to send billions of their hard-earned dollars overseas to implement climate change schemes. Nor should we continue down this path of forcing rate increases on the hardworking families in America. Yet that has been the President's plan all along, Mr. Speaker. In 2008, President Obama proudly announced his vision for energy costs in our country. He said, "Under my plan of a cap-and-trade system, electricity rates wouldn't necessarily skyrocket. Coal, natural gas, you name it, whatever the plants were, whatever the industry was, they would have to retrofit their operations, and that will cost money, and they will pass that money on to consumers." His plan? Make them pay more. Even though his cap-and-trade legislation failed in Congress, the administration has not given up and continues to ignore the voices of the American people by passing rules that implement them, despite the law, and by traveling to Paris to work a deal to inflict more mandates on the American people. Even now, with little support here at home, negotiators are working every angle to make sure a deal is secured, no matter how onerous it is to senior citizens and low-income families living paycheck to paycheck, and whom a rate increase will hurt the most. This agenda has been a hallmark of this administration when it finalized the EPA's recent Clean Power Plan rules on existing and new power plants, which amount to a disguised cap-and-trade program. But we are listening to the American people. Upon the start of the Paris talks, both chambers of Congress passed joint resolutions against the EPA's Clean Power Plan rules for new and existing power plants to nullify the rules put in place, which were done by ignoring the will of the people. 27 states have also taken the EPA to court over these two rules, and it's important that we do this. Missourians rely on affordable energy. Americans everywhere rely on affordable energy, and to ignore their needs and wishes is irresponsible. We do not need extreme, arbitrary mandates that will cost hundreds of billions of dollars over the next 15 years, close power plants across the nation, eliminate jobs, and close off access to reliable, affordable energy for the most vulnerable in our society. We need to promote policies that increase access to affordable energy, tap into the abundant energy supply, and create a reliable infrastructure supported by American labor and ingenuity. We need to make sure that Americans' voices are heard, which is why I proudly stand with my colleagues in support of Congressman Kelly's concurrent resolution requiring the President to send any agreement stemming from these talks in Paris to the Senate as a treaty for advice and consent from those sent here by the people to represent them. We need American energy policy that works for the American people, not against it. They deserve a fair process that upholds the constitutional authority of checks and balances envisioned by our forefathers. I urge my colleagues to stand up for the American people and support this resolution so the people's voices will be heard. Thank you.